Antarctica, the fifth largest continent in the world, with a surface area of 13.66 million kilometers squared. The average temperature of Antarctica is negative 34.4 degrees Celsius. However, it can get much colder, down to negative 89.6 degrees Celsius. To give you an example, the average temperature of Mars is negative 65 degrees Celsius, and Mars is about 225 million kilometers away. 99.5% of the land of Antarctica is covered in ice, where the land is buried under about 3 miles of ice that is over millions of years old. The environment of Antarctica is cold and dry, windy continent. Its humidity is lower than the Sahara Desert. On Antarctica, you would only see rocky mountains, large deserts that are made of ice. In the outside of the area of Antarctica is large archipelagos of ice floating. Due to the position of how the Earth is tilted and the position of where Antarctica is, you can have months in winters where the sun does not rise above the horizon, and in the summer you can have months where the sun does not dive below the horizon. Entire days where you can watch the sun go in a U shape, or you can have days where the sun would never rise. Antarctica only contains 800 species in the continent. To give you a rough example, Britain contains almost 3,500 species of plants, and they also contain 235 species of animals, with no reptiles or amphibians, as there's not enough sunlight for the reptiles to absorb light, and it is too cold for both reptiles and amphibians to survive in. 200 million years ago, Pangaea split it into two separate supercontinents. The northern part we don't care about, the bottom part called Gondwana. This was caused due to either plate tectonics, convection currents, stress fields, or even magma being welded up through the weakness of the crust, leading to the making of large volcanic rifts and eruptions. In Gondwana, it contains Antarctica, India, Australia, New Zealand, South America, Africa, and Madagascar. During the Jurassic period, Antarctica resembled like a tropical forest, with an abundance of diverse wildlife. It was a rainforest, due to the fact of high-level CO2 that gave the continent mild weathers and maintaining even through the stretch of dark periods of 6 months of no sunlight. Throughout the Jurassic period, dinosaurs ruled the earth, pterosaurs ruled the skies, and marine reptiles ruled the oceans, with animals such as Cryolophosaurus, a 7-meter-long, 465-kilogram predator that hunted Glaciolosaurus, a large herbivore weighing about 4 to 6 tons, and ichthyosaurs swimming across Gondwana. However, through the Jurassic period, the supercontinent of Gondwana slowly started to break apart, starting with 180 million years ago, where South America and Africa, including Madagascar, started to split apart, and South America started to meet up with North America, and Africa started to meet up with Eurasia. And 150 million years ago to 130 million years ago, both South America and Africa were so far apart that they created their own sea. And India, Australia, New Zealand started to split off from Antarctica, where New Zealand and Australia started to split off, where India started to make their own way to Asia, where it will make the Himalayan mountains, until the Cretaceous period, where Earth started to resemble what it is like now, and Antarctica is all alone. This was caused by a couple of ideas. First off being the eruption of Carofera, which would have been a strong enough eruption to cause the breaking of the continent. Or it could have been the hot spots, the idea of magma bubbling near the surface, where the hot spot is at which caused the continents to split. Or lastly, being the tectonic plates slowly splitting apart Gondwana. Antarctica was still an ice-free, forest-filled continent during the Cretaceous period. Antarctica was still becoming more alone by the 100 million years, as Gondwana was still splitting apart. Dinosaurs, pterosaurs, and marine reptiles still ruled the earth. However, during the period, certain animals died out, such as the ichthyosaurs, 100 million years ago, due to things such as overspecialization, competition, environmental volatility such as volcanic eruptions, climate change, and increase of water acidity, and slow evolution. And both Cryolophosaurus and Glaciolophosaurus were extinct long ago. In replacements were mosasaurs, the apex predator of the entire ocean, where it would eat anything from plesiosaurs to sharks to cephalopods to even other mosasaurs. There were bones of large pterosaurs in Antarctica that was discovered that is likely belonging to Astargid. And lastly, on the dinosaurs, such as the Antarctopelta, are small ankylosaurs that defended themselves with plates that are embedded in skin and using their tails as they are structured at the end of their tail, made up of fused osteoderm that were spiked and pointed outwards, used for stabbing predators in defense. And lastly, being improbators. Despite on how they look, they are not raptors. Rather, they are non-dromaeosaurid Praevian. They hunt in different ways, such as group hunting, stealth, and balance. Until the 66 million mark, where the asteroid smashed into the Gulf of Mexico, causing earthquake across the world and creating tsunamis that were hundreds of meters tall, and due to the impact blocked out the sun across the world, covering the earth in darkness and wiping out more than 75% of all life on earth. And from among them came back were lizards, mammals, birds. From 55 million years ago to 34 million years ago, Antarctica was still a forest with abundance of vegetation. What ruled there were mammals such as marsupials, prehistoric dolphins, and whales. It was until 34 million years ago that Antarctica started to get colder, and a lot of the plant life slowly got colder. About 20 million years, Antarctica started to form glaciers, and ice were forming in Antarctica. The plant life started to slowly die. And then lastly, being about 5 million years ago, Antarctica was what it was like right now, a cold continent with very little plant life and miles of ice, due to factors such as cooler global temperatures, which allowed ice sheets to form in Antarctica, a reduction of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, feedback mechanisms as Antarctica starts to get more ice, it reflects more sunlight back into space, cooling the surface temperature. Ocean circulation, as the seeping of Drake's Passage between South America and Antarctica has made Antarctica circumpolar current, which has made warm water to get blocked from the south, making Antarctica colder. And add the fact that Antarctica experienced half the year with no sunlight, had led to the cause of Antarctica losing plant life and freezing over, leading to what we have now. And this will do for the video. I hope you find this interesting of how Antarctica came to be. And if you did, subscribe to my channel. And I'll make more videos about animals and prehistoric life and maybe even space.